Hello everyone, Allright is here with basic tutorial on how to use Allright Rig 2.0. In this video I'm gonna show you how to set up basic Unreal Engine mannequin skeleton, but first of all I would suggest you to download Allright Rig examples project from Allright Rig documentation page. In this project you can find different character rigs and system features, as well as presets under Save Games folder. Okay, I'm gonna start from empty Unreal Engine project and I'm gonna add new add feature or content pack, third person content. Okay, let's go to mannequin, character, mesh, and here we have our mannequin skeletal mesh. First of all, we need to create animation blueprint. Right mouse button, create anim blueprint. Double click to open blueprint editor. And here we need a couple of nodes. Right mouse button, set bones transforms. Connect pins. Drag from bones transform pin, promote to variable. Let's call it BT. It doesn't matter what is the name of this variable, but we need it in order to assign transformation data to our mesh. Now let's duplicate this node, connect pin, drag input pin, promote to variable, source BT. We need this variable in order to make update from source feature to work. And last we will create mesh space ref pose node. Click compile, and now let's go to event graph. Drag execution pin and type cast to rig modular. Drag object pin, get owning actor. And now we need to set our variables. Set BT, connect, and here we need to get bones transforms and assign it. Set source BT, connect execution pins, and get source BT. So we take in our rig, cast to it, and assign variables from rig to our anim blueprint variables. Let's compile and close the editor. Now we can drag our character to the scene and we can go to Window, Allright Rig, Rig Tools window. We can dock it here. And you can see that most of properties and buttons are not valuable. So if you hover the button, you can see this tip that says choose anim class for rig skeletal mesh. So here is anim class, and here we need to choose our mannequin skeleton anim blueprint. So now we can create rig. And now you can see this lonely controller, and you can move it, but it works. Okay, let's delete it. And now we can start to create our controllers. Let's add item to custom controllers. So here I will specify pelvis bone, and let's create rig again. Now we can see this controller and the pelvis controller, which actually drives the pelvis bone. But we need this controller in order to attach spine controllers to this controller. So let's delete our rig. Let's change the shape of this controller, and let's type SM circle. Sometimes you cannot find this SM circle locator meshes because you need to enable show plugins content. So here is plugins content. You can go to plugins content, Allright Rig, meshes, and here you can find those meshes that I used for controllers. You can use your own meshes, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's set size of this controller to 3 and recreate rig. And we see this circle is oriented like this. So if we want our controller to be oriented to the world, we can use world orientation. But however, by default, controller's orientation will be the same as bones orientations. Let's delete rig and create it again. So now this controller is oriented the same as the world. And now we're going to create controllers for our spine. Actually, we can go to our mesh and open skeleton. So we would be able to see bones. Let's go to spline IK rigs. Let's add item. And now we need to specify root bone. So root bone will be the same. It will be also pelvis. And the tip bone will be this bone, which is spine 03. Let's start to type spine 03, and let's create rig again. Delete rig. And sometimes we can find this weird behavior. It's because both of those controllers, like this controller and this controller, they are trying to drive this pelvis bone. In order to fix it, let's delete rig and let's uncheck update property and recreate rig again. And now we have our normal spine IK behavior. But if you select this controller, you will see that there is no connection between them. We want this controller to be parented to this one. So let's go to spline IK settings and set parent controller property. Here we need to specify this controller name, which is pelvis controller. Pelvis controller. Let's recreate rig. And now we see that this controller drives the wall spline IK controllers, and each spline IK controller do its own job. Now let's create controllers for neck. For neck I would create FK hierarchy. Let's add item, and here we need to specify the tip bone. So the tip bone will be our head bone. Actually we can create custom controllers, like we can create one controller, second, and parent first to second. But in this case it is easier to use FK hierarchy. So the tip bone will be head. Tip bone, head. Hierarchy depth is amount of bones in this hierarchy. So actually we have one bone hierarchy. Like this bone parented to this one. Let's create the rig. And here we see our hierarchy. But again, if we select this controller, we don't see connection between them. So we need to set these controllers, which is spine 03 IK, as parent controller for our hierarchy. Spine 3 IK. Let's recreate rig. And let's check. Works? Works. So actually this is perfect moment to save our preset. So let's go to the bottom and type the name for our preset. I will name it man rig. Enter. Save rig button active. Click save. And now if we go to our project, saved, save games, we can find man rig preset here. And now let's create rig for our shoulders. I'm gonna delete this rig. And I'm gonna go to custom controllers and add new item. So name of our bone is clavicle L. Clavicle L. Let's go change shape to red color. Size the same, and again I need to parent this controller to spine 03 IK. Let's rig. Perfect. Let's do the same for the right shoulder. Clavicle R, spine 03, and change color to blue. Rig. Great. Now we are ready to set up our arm. Let's go to FKIK rigs. Add item. Arm. Is it arm or leg? 3 bone IK. We have 2 bones in our limbs. If we would have 3 bones, for example like back, animal, leg, then we should enable this. Pole vector simple. Sometimes we need to use it when it's hard to calculate the position of pole vector, but we are pretty good here because arm is a little bit bended. So let's specify our T-bone. T-bone is our hand L, and actually we can already create the rig. So now we can see our IK controllers, and we can see also pole vector and the root controller. If I will select FKIK controller, I can see some settings here. So first of all, I have this blending between FK and IK. So FK controllers are those red spheres, which represents the default FK behavior. IK controllers are these controllers. I can see that we have this weird orientation of this controller. It will be not very comfortable to animate this controller. So let's go to our rig settings, let's delete rig, and let's go to our settings and let's set aim IK to middle finger. This property is not editable by default because we need to specify middle finger. So middle finger is actually this middle finger. And let's type middle, and we have here middle 1. Actually, it doesn't matter, you can specify this bone or this bone. It needs to be like some bone that is on the middle of the hand. So in our case, it's this middle bone. Now we can enable aim IK to middle finger feature, and let's recreate the rig. Now we can see that IK controller is aimed to this bone, and it's perfectly oriented for animation. Okay, now let's set up our fingers. Delete rig. Fingers. Let's open fingers data, and here we need to specify our fingers. So we have 5 fingers, let's add 5 items. Here you need to specify fingers in this order. Like this one, this, from this to that. So first would be our thumb. So this is the tip bone, and we need actually this tip bone. Thumb 3. Next will be index. Index 3. Next will be middle. Middle 3. Next will be ring. Ring 3. And the last one is pinky. Okay, let's recreate rig. And now we have our finger controllers. This is basic FK hierarchy. But if your character has 5 fingers, you have these nice extra controllers. Curl, spread, relax, maybe a little bit less of spread, relax, and thumb controllers. Again, it works only if your character has 5 bones. Phalanx numbers is the number of phalanx. So here we have 3 phalanx, 1, 2, and this is the third one. But if your character has more phalanx or less, you can specify it here. Okay, basic IK setup is done, but if your character has twist bones, we can set up those. For example, we have this twist bone, and it's hard to see it, but it exists over there, another twist bone. Let's go to our FK IK settings. And here we can find first twist bones. So first twist bones will be these twist bones. Second twist bones will be these twist bones. And if you're using 3 bone IK, you need to specify third twist bones here. Let's go to our first twist bones. But here's the thing about these twist bones. Actually, this is basic requirement of 2 bone IK for Unreal Engine. If you are using 2 bone IK, your limb hierarchy needs to consist from 2 bones. So this bone is parented to this, and this bone is parented to this. We cannot use any other type of connections. And you can add whatever bones you wish to this hierarchy. Okay, let's open first twist bones, and let's add 2 items here. There always need to be at least 2 items. So the first one is top bone. So looks like this one is the first one, because it drives the first part of the limb. Upper arm twist 01. Upper arm twist 01L. The second one here will be our upper arm L. You can't see that this bone actually drives only this part of skeletal mesh, but you can tell it because this bone drives the upper part of it. So the second one will be this bone, upper arm L. So again, this order depends on skinning. Here needs to be specified the bone that affects upper vertices. Here needs to be specified the bone that affects lower vertices. And if you have more twist bones, they need to be set in this order. Now let's set up second twist bones. And you need to be careful here because in the full mannequin skeleton it has opposite direction here. So this bone affects these vertices and this bone affects upper vertices. So here first will be lower arm L, lower arm L. And the second one will be lower arm twist, 0, 1. Okay, looks like we're ready. Let's recreate our rig. And now you can see this nice twist effect. And this controller will also affect twist now. Okay, the last thing that I'm gonna do is attach IK controllers to the shoulder bone. Let's go to our IK controller settings, and here, parent controller, we need to specify our clavicle L controller. Let's recreate rig. And here we have our normal behavior. Okay, let's set up left leg. Let's go to FKIK rigs and add another item. So it's not arm, it's not 3-bone IK, we don't need pole vector simple, we need our tip bone. So the tip bone must be the foot bone. It's not IK foot, but it's foot L. Tip bone, foot L. Again, we need to parent it to our pelvis IK controller. Aim IK to middle finger. Middle finger will be this ball L. Ball L. Aim to middle finger, and we can create the rig. And here's our foot. The last thing is to create foot, additional foot controllers. Let's delete the rig. And here we have our foot controllers. Let's enable it. Go to foot controllers data, and here we have toe socket and heel socket. So actually we need to create those sockets in order to create additional foot controllers. So let's go to our mesh. Let's open our skeletal mesh. Actually it's opened, and here you need to add a socket. I'm gonna add socket, ball L socket, and I just need to place it on the front part of the foot, so it must be somewhere here. And we also need to add heel socket. Let's add to this bone. Add socket. I will name it heel socket. And heel socket needs to be behind, like on this end of the foot. Let's click save. And let's go and find our sockets. Actually, you may not find the socket here the first time. In this case, you need to specify animation blueprint again. Main. And now we need to type toy. Oh, it's not toy, it's ball. here's our ball socket, and here we need to type heel, and here's our heel socket and rig. So now we have this controller, but we also have in FKIK controller, we have these properties: foot roll, toe roll, toe twist, heel twist, and toe twist. And we also need to specify the twist bones for our leg. Let's delete the rig and let's go to the twist bones. First twist bones, 2 items. And let's see. So these twist bones drive the upper part of the leg, so this will be the first. Tight twist. Tight twist, L. And the second one is this bone, which actually skinned to this part. Like this part is skinned to this bone, so it will be tight L. Tight L. Second twist bones. Let's see. So this drives the lower part. So this bone drives the upper part. So the first bone will be here calf L. And the second one will be calf L twist. The same as arm. Okay, let's create the rig. And now we see this twist behavior also here and here. You can also notice that there is a little movement during creation of the rig. This is because of soft IK. So we have few settings here. Allow stretching allows us to stretch IK. If we enable allow stretching, we can stretch our leg. And soft stretch. So soft stretch lets you to stretch knee pretty soft. You can see this quick movement here right before stretching starts. But when you enable soft stretch, you can see that it's pretty soft now. Okay, now I'm gonna do all the same for the right side. So here's our full mannequin setup. It's better to save your rig settings, and you can actually compare your results with the main rig presets from Allright Rig Examples project. So this is basically all for today. Thanks for watching, and wish you a good using of Allright Rig and a great mood. Thank you, bye bye.